Hi everyone, it's Lou with
Where are
Let
we?
Loose with
Are we starting? Are we
Lou.
going?
We're here. This is it. See, you missed one.
Oh, we're recording 24 seconds into
That's
it.
it,
All right,
right?
well,
J-
begin, Lou.
Let's go ahead and dive in, Steve. So, did you have a good week?
I had a okay week.
Okay.
Not great, not terrible. Somewhere in the middle. A
Oh,
little bit of everything.
okay. Well, but you're here. That's the good part. Melone and I and Solomon missed you last two episodes.
Yeah, I missed you guys too. But so it's good to be back
It sure
in the
is.
studio and with you guys.
That's right. We're back on track, and we're missing Melon now.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, no, Melon. Hi. Hope you're having a good time on your cruise, girl. We miss you, but we'll see you on the next one. But speaking of Melon, my little jacket from Melon's Boudoir. And we have our guest, Chris. Woo,
Yeah,
Chris.
right.
Now I feel validated.
There we go. He is validated.
Chris is feeling seen.
Oh,
He's
shit.
stamped.
Validated.
He sure is. Yes. And our topic today is
Is exactly that, Chris. We're talking about relationships. We're talking about emotions. We're talking about the art and the skill of validation, understanding our partner, or understanding anybody, our friend or store clerk or
family member.
difficult coworkers. Is the relationships are the realm of emotions, particularly romantic relationships.
Dun dun dun.
So here's what I want to start out with: I want to just call out and say,
Why don't we role play like we did with Malone? Like, you're on the seat, you utilize us. Like, give us questions. Put us in a hot seat. Come
yeah,
on.
let's do it.
Let's give
Let's do
our
it.
audience.
So let's do this first. Let me just name this, Lou, and say that romantic relationships are hard, right?
Absolutely.
They're fun in the beginning, and then
They fizzle.
and then they fizzle, and as love sets in, and people start showing their kind of warts and blemishes and their bad habits, it gets difficult.
Super difficult.
What especially gets difficult is when people have feelings or thoughts that you don't like.
Or yeah.
Right, that you don't like, or even and how do you deal with that? So
How?
I'll just say this. I'll just leave it and say
Okay.
I've been in relationships where I didn't feel validated.
Now
And I'm sure I've been with different girlfriends who felt like I wasn't validating them. I'm married now. I have a wife. There are times I still don't feel validated. Times I think I'm sure she doesn't feel validated, and it's a real art. Is my point, right? It's not something that you just sort of achieve and you're done, but you're always working on it.
So define how you don't feel validated. Give us an example.
Well, here would be an example, right? I just want to share
Mhm.
that I don't like something. Let's just say like I don't like that you're nitpicking me about what I'm putting in the grocery basket. For example.
Got it.
Right? I say I don't like that. And then let's say the reaction is instead of saying I got it. I get you don't like it.
So it's
The
like
person
put it back.
The person will say something like
Chris.
well,
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, why are you so bothered by that? Like, I'm just saying that we don't need that.
Now,
Right. And they're immediately kind of taking away that I just don't like it.
but if it's chocolate or chips, there's feelings attached to
There
that,
can be feelings attached.
right?
Right.
There's
Or
feelings attached to that, especially chocolate, because when you eat chocolate, you're just like so happy. There's something in chocolate that just makes you happy.
Yeah.
but basically it's this idea of not being seen and not being understood in your position. Right. Like you're not being seen and not being heard. Right. So let me think. I'll think of a good example is um, I'm working with a client who he's a saver. He cares about his money. He thinks about his money. He wants to save it, right? And his complaint is that his wife spends it,
That's a good one.
right? And
That's because he lets her.
Ooh.
So we can get into that. So
Interesting.
he'll try to say to her like, "I'm upset by this,"
Yeah.
and she'll say, "Well, you have a good job, so what's the big deal?" Right? And
She'll say that?
yeah, you have a great job, so what's the big deal? right? Like I should be able to do this.
So what is
You're
the
like,
big deal though?
give me
What
a
is it?
divorce right now.
Wait,
I-
yeah, but he
I don't wanna-
doesn't say
I got a
that.
good job, but what about you? Get off
Yeah.
the couch and go to work.
But when she's giving good sex, he's not saying that, right? Oh,
Yeah.
Well, it
Yeah, he
depends.
would be.
Depends.
no, come on, because
there are some guys who would be like, I in exchange for sex, I will
let me
I
tell
will
you,
deal with
Well,
this.
All right.
men drop everything
I'll bet.
the woman
I'll-
says.
Yeah, but there's a point.
Sex is on the
There's a
table.
point,
Hell
Luke.
yeah,
It's true. Sex is very powerful.
it sure is. Obviously,
negotiation chip.
there's no divorce going on. There's something good's happening. He's happy, but
Well,
he's
look, here's something that can happen. Here's a good example, though. This is a good one. It's true what you're saying.
Mhm.
Sex is a very powerful tool. It can be used for great things. It can be very manipulative as well, right? And I
Mhm.
think that like
totally
that women can do that, right? So here's an
How do we go from spending money to sex?
because that's what she's probably using to keep him happy. That what else is a woman gonna use?
But here's
Not
what can happen.
knowledge.
Here's what can happen.
Well, that's
Come on, let's be real.
Well, look, it's not. You're saying a true thing.
Exactly.
But I'll tell you what I have seen, and I think some people can resonate with, is I've seen guys get sick of that too, where they're just like, you know what, I'm telling you
yeah.
how upset I am about this. Like we're in debt,
Oh,
and
that's not. Good.
I'm telling you how upset I am about this, and you're just trying to make it go away by having sex with me, and and it
There's
makes
no
me
depth
and
in
it makes
that.
me even more angry.
Okay, well,
There's no
if
depth.
And
in
there are guys that come to that place.
now if they're in
Yeah.
debt, yeah, that's not good because if you remember my first couple of episodes, my one of my co-hosts, Ryan, he had a relationship like that. Remember? He spoke about that. He was married to a beautiful, attractive woman. And then what happened? She would spend money, manipulate the money, accounts, everything. But when it came down to the nitty gritty, sex
Well-
overpowered.
That comment struck a nerve with me right off the bat.
Which comment, Chris?
That, well, you make good money, so what does it matter?
Yeah.
That's a form of disrespect
Mm.
in my book.
hmm Now, true.
Say more.
Mhm.
Huh?
Yeah, I want to hear you talk about that.
Yes, let's see.
Well, I mean, I don't have a problem spending my money on a woman, but coming from that point of view, where I work for my money, work hard for my money. Just because I make good money doesn't mean you get to go out and spend it frivolously because you think I make good money, and it's okay.
Now, question: did he allow it in the beginning?
Yeah. So
Right.
I was in a relationship with someone,
Mhm.
so that's kind of why it struck a nerve.
Okay.
Beautiful lady,
Mhm.
Hispanic lady,
Mhm.
and
Why does it have to be Hispanic?
because she
Just
was
kidding. We're more aggressive.
well, yeah,
Latin
she's,
lovers.
well,
He's not well.
Well.
I don't know why I had to say that.
No,
but
I'm just teasing you.
I mean,
She's a beautiful,
Good
Hispanic
looking?
woman.
I mean, and she knew what I did,
Mhm.
and at the time I was a casual.
Mhm.
I shouldn't say that, but
It's okay.
the comment was made to me is like, well, I guess I got elevated. I think
Mm-hmm.
I finally got in, and the comment was made to me, well, you're making good money. Why don't you buy me a house? And this person already owned a house that was given to her by inherited, and was totally ungrateful for this house that she was living in. When I thought, man, this house, I could be happy in this house,
Mhm.
and here you are saying because I make good money that I should buy you a house.
She wanted two in her pocket, one on the right, one on the left.
Yeah. And it's like, okay. And I finally along with the anger, get a lot of that.
Ooh.
And I just ended up leaving. But I'd go
What,
back.
like, what would she get angry
I-
about? Like if you said like, no, like we're not.
No,
doing that, or-
it's just because she couldn't have it her way.
Mhm.
Ooh.
I wouldn't conform to what she wanted, or I'd say something that pissed her off, and then I'd pull my pants up and walk out the front door.
What
That's-
did I
That's
say?
literally what it
Yeah.
was boiling down to.
Yeah.
I mean, I did that, and it was like because I made a comment about something smelling like that came out of the garage. This is my motherfucking house. Blah, blah. I don't have these motherfucking things. I don't have this, and just started doing this.
The whole attitude.
The whole ghetto
yeah.
attitude. and
Ooh.
So it's
Yeah.
like I don't have a problem with.
Yeah.
Let's break that down, right? So like this is a classic. I think that most of us can like appreciate this. Like people have seen this where um, it's a form of disrespect or a form of like being invalidated, right? Like you're a working man who's making a living, right? And you don't need like some special reward for that, but like you'd like to have some decency here, right? Where it's like just because I make money doesn't mean that I'm like a mule, right? And there are many a man who go like, I just feel like a mule. Like
That's a good
she doesn't
analogy.
respect or
Right.
care about what I'm doing. She just wants what she wants. And then and when that guy starts to say, hey, that doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Ideally, what we're supposed to happen is like, oh shoot, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was doing that,
I
right?
yeah.
And it doesn't happen. It just and then it turns into she just gets angry because of whatever, and then you're like, this is even worse now. Like, not only am I being disrespected, but like, she doesn't care about like what I'm doing, and she doesn't care about how I actually feel, and she's forcing her own opinion and her own anger upon me.
Yeah, and it made me switch. It made me switch. It made me my whole outlook on the relationship and my behaviors switched back to old behaviors
Mm.
and how I viewed the relationship, and it was
You
more
were
of a,
you were not interested at that point anymore in the relationship then.
I saw it as yeah, the flame had, I mean, the whole purpose of the whole thing was like, it just, to
Like
me,
you knew you couldn't get further in the relationship with her.
I didn't want to
Yeah.
because I could see
Well,
see it
yes.
down the road where it was going to be
More of this.
more of this and a control thing,
Right.
and I can't deal with the anger, that the anger that's there, because I have like worked on that myself to where I can't be around it because it triggers me eventually, and I don't want, I remove myself from the equation completely. I have to.
Yeah.
So it became an unhealthy relationship, and it
Mhm.
was solely based on sex for me.
That's it. See,
Which
Huh?
is what
I mean, that's what I ended up manipulating
Yeah,
the
that's
situation.
what I
I'm not gonna lie.
No, I know. That's what
I mean, I
said. That
manipulated
comes
it
down to
and played it out. I mean, I ended up being stalked and everything else from this person, and but I just, my old,
Mhm.
you know,
right, which is what
stuff
happens,
came
right?
up.
You kind of saw the writing on the wall. You're like, she's not gonna really see me. She's not gonna really validate me. She's not really gonna
Or
respect
value
me.
too.
She's actually gonna take advantage of me.
Yeah,
And I
that's
understand what's happening. And so you're single and you're like, okay, I'm gonna pivot and just have a sexual relationship with her.
take the feeling out of it.
Take the feeling out of it.
Wow. I'm like this. Where's
Cold,
Milan at?
cold as ice.
Cold as ice. But it was good while it was going on, right?
It was more of a like code blue in the bedroom.
That's crazy, huh?
It wasn't
Yeah.
reciprocate. I mean, I mean, I'll get frank. You know, it's like having sex with a dead person.
Oh, got it. Yeah, at that
You know,
point. But so
you
then
know,
why was she even around? Why was she still having sex with you then?
I don't
You
know.
know
You
what
have
I'm
to ask
saying?
her.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Like at that point, I mean, why are you still having sex with the person if you're not I mean,
Well, I think because she thought it was something else, but I don't want to really get into me, but it just,
what's the
I,
relationship in whole? Like we're yeah, we're
I mean,
discussing.
and it's still, there's a mutual chemistry thing there. Attraction, I think, is what drew us, and it keeps coming. You know,
Maybe it was makeup sex that was good.
mm, no, it was always a hassle to try to get that in the bedroom too.
Oh.
It's a lot of work. It was. I'm not gonna lie.
That's because you weren't forking out, right?
Right?
Lou, what do you think about this? Lou, you're bringing up sex a
Probably.
lot. Lou,
Hell
you're bringing
yeah.
up sex.
'Cause
So,
because
what's your experience or what's your thought about like sexual manipulation and
What's
like
my thought?
in relationships?
Well, there's really the point of it all is unfortunately it happens in every relationship. Come on. It hasn't happened to you at one point.
Oh, I in my first
Exactly. See?
marriage, one of the big things that happened was I didn't know what I didn't know, and I was highly sexually manipulated. I just wasn't mature. I wasn't strong enough to know what to do with that.
And
Yeah.
see, women
But
mature so much quicker at a
Yeah.
younger age than men.
Yeah.
So women, we're like basically on the outside of the field, looking on the inside. Like, okay, that's how he plays. That's his way of running. Okay, there we go. You know, we study.
Yeah.
A woman's gonna study a man's behavior, his every move, his every way of walking, talking, looking, what he smells like, what he wears, what he likes to eat. Women capture all that.
Yeah.
And if she is interested, she is gonna go in and she's gonna use everything she has. That's just how it is. Now, if the man shows that he has some type of interest, then there's going to be chemistry, right? There's going to be chemistry. You're going to work, figure things out. But at one point, like they've said, that in 3 months, you know the person, you know what they're like, right? You
Yeah.
know if it's a good thing or not, or a bad thing. But what's the human? What do humans do? We try to work things out. We always try to. We start to use excuses. Well, they had a bad day. Oh, maybe, this happened at work, or, he's feeling sick, or whatever the situation or the excuse is. We're always making excuse for each other to try to make it okay. So it's like a band-aid. We're always putting band-aids on each other, right? Instead of, like you said, focusing on the emotion and fixing it, because nobody wants to fix an emotion. Nobody wants to sit there and take the time to talk about it, especially men. Men don't want to.
Hey, I don't think women are great either. I'm starting to see more and more of this inability to just say, "Hey, man," or "I'm sorry.
Now that's a
that
very
wasn't
powerful word.
that was insensitive of me," or "You know what?
You
Let
know
me
what?
hear this out."
But
Like there's
see,
I don't see a lot of that.
so
Sorry, saying sorry.
so
No,
it's
is that what you
true.
mean? You don't
There
see a
Yeah,
lot of.
I don't see a lot of men or women.
Yeah.
I think women are
apologizing.
as equally guilty of they get called out for whatever, being late or being rude or making a snippety remark, and then one of them says, "Hey, like that hurt,"
But
and the other
see,
one goes
so
like, "Well, I didn't mean it like that,"
okay, so wait.
right? Instead of saying like, "I got that hurt you."
But why are you gonna apologize for something you're gonna keep committing? You're gonna
Well,
keep
that's
saying, or
exactly right.
yeah, and so I've always said, do not say you're sorry unless you really mean it. Define sorry. Define it, right? So if you're defining the word and you're using it loosely, what does it validate? There's no meaning to
You,
the word.
you,
There's nothing.
you know what sorry is? It's a word used by people that don't reflect on their own behavior. If we took a daily inventory and a minute by minute inventory on our behaviors with our interactions with other people, we wouldn't have to use that word as much.
There's
Yeah, I mean that's the idea. Like one of the things that like as
Right?
a
I mean, am I
pro
wrong? I mean,
that
that was
I
kind of
really
that's
see.
my interpretation of it. I try to do that every day, restraint of pen and tongue, because as soon as I open my mouth when I'm in an emotional state where I'm not spiritually and mentally fit, words will come out of my mouth that I probably shouldn't use.
but people push you to that point.
Well, they do, but
Doesn't matter.
the key is learning how to set your bound. For me,
Mhm,
this is my experience.
mhm,
I've had to learn how to set my boundaries. I either walk away or I shut up,
mhm.
or I say it's not time to talk about
Yeah.
this.
And I've had
That's
to learn that. I've
it's difficult.
had to learn how to bite my tongue and then think 3 times, not twice, but 3 times as well. But I've learned that sometimes we'll say, like, oh my God, I'm sorry I'm running late. Well, I shouldn't have to apologize because there was traffic, even though I left 15, 20 minutes earlier. Thank you for understanding that I'm late. That's how I would reference
Yeah.
it, because we shouldn't have to be like, once again, the word is very powerful
Yeah.
and it shouldn't be used loosely.
No, it shouldn't. I
It
agree.
should not.
I agree.
I think I don't know if I agree with that, guys. I think there's a place to say like, "Please
Okay.
forgive me. I was 20 minutes late," or
Well,
"Sorry, I
That's
was running
okay.
late. You know, I'm sorry to make you wait. I'm here
yeah,
now. Please forgive me. In the future, I will not."
But what's
that's
wrong
good.
with thank you for understanding that I'm late?
Because they may not feel that way. They may not have understanding at all. They might be very annoyed about your lateness.
Some people can't stand people
And
that
so,
aren't punctual.
so if you address them as just like, well, you know, deal with it.
But
That
if you're saying thank you for
So
understanding there was an accident that was,
what?
I mean,
it's
unpredictable.
part of that's an assumption is that you're putting words in their mouth that they will understand.
I want to know about this validation word.
Mm.
What does that mean in a relationship? Why do we need to be validated in a relationship?
Now, wouldn't a person that needs to be validated be self-conscious of themselves, like, just not I don't know, like
The validation is about
I'm serious. I'm not.
attempting to understand the thoughts and feelings of another person. And what I'm saying, and I'm going to take a hard stance on this, is if you're in a romantic relationship, not
Yeah.
just like a sexual one, but your intention is to be long term,
Yeah.
then the art of validation is critical,
Okay.
right? The ability to hear and understand and accept the feelings of another person, even if you don't agree with them.
So patience, love, and tolerance.
We can call validation patience, love, and tolerance.
That's how I view it.
Well, I think those would be good words, wouldn't you think?
I do.
Right?
I do. Because I mean,
See,
that's what I would want. I need a lot of patience, love, and tolerance, because I'm my personality. But I also want to portray that
but do you
because it
want
makes me a better person.
now, as a woman's point of like, view, like, if I have to keep validating, then I'm gonna be coddling a man. Do I wanna coddle a man?
No.
Exactly, because then what does a man become? A big baby.
Yeah.
And then
I'm gonna give you a hard example. Like this is a gross example, but these kind of things can happen. Uh, man comes back from visiting his mother
Mhm.
and goes, and he loves his mom. He
Mhm.
loves his mom, and she does not love his mom. And he comes back and he goes, and he knows that like he's gonna get the smoke, and she'll say something like, "How was your visit with your mother?"
that's a huge one because that happens a lot.
Right? And he doesn't feel validated. He's like, "Look, she's my mother. I love her. I want to see her." And the first thing I'm getting is this grief around how was your visit with her,
Yeah.
right? Or
Mhm.
like, I love my mother. Your mother's a bitch.
Yeah.
And if it was, fuck her. I don't like how she acts.
Yeah.
And then that guy's like, she's my mother and I love her and I don't like how you're talking. Well, I don't care. I don't like her.
That
And those
happens a
things
lot.
happen. And
A lot.
this is a big gear grind and worse. There's no validation. In fact, there's the insult.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
There's not love or tolerance or patience. It's
Mhm.
just I don't like her for whatever reason, and I don't care if she's your mother.
That's
That's a hard one. That
right.
is a hard one
So
because
these kind of things happen, right?
no, totally.
These kind
Yeah, they do.
Like,
Yeah.
like I know that my first mother-in-law, I fucking loved her. She was the best. Like she, always helped me. I mean, she was so caring. She had what, 10 children. So, I came from a privileged home.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't know how to cook and clean the way that they did. I was Americanized, and he was, not.
Right.
And so they had a whole different lifestyle than I did. So for me it was hard to adapt to their lifestyle. It was hard. But did I learn? Of course I did, because that's what you do, right? That's
Yeah.
what you do. But I loved my ex mother in law. Even my second mother in law, I never had problems with her. Like I always, how do I say? Like I've always been in a mutual because of the fact that I have my own mother. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't like my husband telling me, "Oh, your mom's a bitch or your mom this." I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want the arguments with him because of my mother or because of his. Like I don't think that women should be insecure when it comes to a man's mother.
Yeah.
They do though, right? And sometimes it's for good reasons. Sometimes that man is still choosing his mom over his wife. That's a problem, right? Like that'll do it. But the point is, we're talking about validation or like empathy, right?
Mhm.
Empathy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. For example, I had another one. Like, I don't like your friend. I don't
Yeah.
like when you go out with your friend. It's my best friend. I don't like your best friend. I think your friend doesn't pay enough attention to me when we go out on dinner dates. Never
Mhm.
talks to me.
That's
Right?
That's another hard one because
Yeah.
I always go out a lot. I'm always with my friends.
yeah.
I'm like, damn, Steve, getting some points over
Yeah,
here.
but like, look, how do you? These are kind of maybe not the best examples, but the ones I'm thinking of is like, how do you kind of
I'm
go?
all,
You know what?
I'm all like this.
I get that this is your friend
Mhm.
and that you enjoy this friend, and I have to accept that this friend just doesn't talk to me that much when we're all hanging out. Like they just don't, right? Like, and is it okay? Can I manage my own feelings that this particular friend doesn't talk that much, but my partner really enjoys this friend, right? Can I validate and kind of go, you know what? I get that like this friend is fun for you. You guys have this chemistry, and also deal with my own emotions of like, hey, she just I'm not I don't think I'm her cup of tea. You know? Like I can be at a dinner and maybe I just don't talk that much. Is that the end of the world?
Yeah.
She's having a good time with her friend, or do I have to insist that like, well, she doesn't pay enough attention to me, so I don't like her, so I don't want you hanging out with her. How about that?
Have you ever been in a situation like that, Chris?
Well, I think maybe. I mean, I understand. I could understand where that person would feel like how I don't like your friend, and I would definitely take that into consideration. If I'm in a good relationship and the relationship is worth changing, yeah, I would push my friends to the side.
Yeah.
I definitely would. For the right woman, I would push my friend. I mean, I think the ultimate friend is your partner, anyways. It's a ride or die type of thing for me.
Well, it needs to be that.
It does,
Right. And I think it's a good point. Like going the other way, it's like, you know what? Let me consider what you're saying, honey.
yeah. I mean,
You're having a hard time with my friend. Let me hear more about. Thank you for telling me this.
yeah,
Let me hear more about your issue with my buddy, because the
yeah,
relationship's primary. Like it has to be first.
absolutely. I mean, yeah.
Time
What?
out.
Talk.
But how time out? How, how about if the partner doesn't want to go out with your friends and you and
That's cool.
yeah, a prime example. Sometimes my husband doesn't want to go out with me and my friends, and I'm like, yesterday, hey, let's go. I can't stand sports.
Yeah,
I've said it 1,000 times. I hate
yeah.
sports. But our friends were going to watch sports. They were going to a restaurant, and I was like, hey, let's go. He's, oh, I don't want to go. I golfed. I'm going to stay home and watch it. And I'm like, well, we're going to go to so and so place. You love their burgers. Well, then I walk away and I come back. Can you bring me a hamburger? If you want a hamburger I'll tell you what, if you go with me, I'll treat you to a hamburger. you know? Well, because what's so funny?
I just think it's funny. That cracks me up. It's like that's a
A way of manipulating?
no,
Is that
manipulating?
Is that manipulating?
no.
Yeah, you're a negotiator.
I definitely
But look,
am.
like the validation here would be again, right? So we're talking about validation, right? It might be like, hey, honey, I really want you to come with my friends. I don't want a girls' night. Their husbands are coming.
Yes.
I want you to come.
Yes, I
Right.
told him that.
And then
Let's go.
so his job in that moment might be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I hear what you want. Let me just take a shower and refresh myself.
Did you ask him why he didn't want to?
Or
He was tired. He had golf.
maybe
Oh,
it's you need
that's-
to empathize with
golfing's
him and
work.
kind of go like, I get you're tired. Like I get it. Like I'll tell everybody you said what's up, and I'll bring you a burger, big man.
Yeah, but he was going to sit there anyways and just watch the game with us. I mean, it was basically we were just sitting there on the table.
So the art of validation might be like, look, maybe he really was just too tired to go, and you need to just kind of go,
It
you know
was.
what?
But I'm like, come on, let's go, because half the
So is
time
what you wanted more important than his feelings of
what
being
he
tired?
wanted was a hamburger, and he was going to get one served nice and steamy and hot, not in a damn
Box.
to-go
Takeaway
box.
box.
So I wanted him to eat a very nice meal on the table,
Yeah.
served.
Right. So this is what I'd say. Like you're doing a great job. It's like you want it more than he wants it, and his fatigue doesn't matter. What matters is I want you.
Whose side are you on?
I'll
Well,
right
hey,
now. Let's talk about your husband's side.
Sometimes you have
Did you hear that, baby daddy? He's on your
sometimes-
side.
Sometimes you have to overlook the fatigue, though. It's
Yes.
hard. Like if I have worked a long day and
Thank
I'm tired and I don't want to do something. I have to do something that I don't want to do sometimes to make my partner happy. But on the other side of it is that my partner needs to understand that sometimes I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So it's
It's a give and take.
toss up.
And
Yeah.
yes.
That's what we're talking about. It's the give
Yeah.
and take of validation
Yeah.
of like
And
on,
there's
on one night, I'd want him to say, you know what, let me just refresh myself and I'll come. I thank you for inviting. Another night you might be like, okay, I get your toast, man. Like
And I do,
take your shoes off, put
and
your
I
feet
want
up.
and I want to
And
like
it's that give and take.
yes, and I always ask him, would you like to go? And he sometimes says, no, I don't want to go. I'm tired. I'm like, okay, bye. I'm gone.
Yeah.
But then there's times where I'm like, okay, no, come on, let's go. we're gonna go. And like you said, it's a tug and war.
Yeah, it's a soft science, right? We kind of know that it works, but you have to kind of
Yes.
like
Now, if he was
feel it out
adamant
in the
about not wanting to go, I would have been like, okay, peace out, bye, and I would have gone,
moment.
But I mean, like, I gave him an option. I was like, would you like a nice burger? You're
Yeah.
hungry. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it worked, right?
He
Right.
But
probably had in his head after playing, I don't know, 9 holes or whatever
Yeah.
it was, that he's gonna go home and sit down and watch the game and have something to drink and eat a nice meal.
Yeah.
And then he came home and that wasn't the
Yeah.
case. So he's like, "Oh crap."
I don't want to go back out.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
I mean, I'm not
yes.
saying that,
No, no,
I'm
no,
just
yeah.
saying I
But
don't
see,
know, but
now I know that he was tired, that he didn't want. Wait, did I drive or did he drive? Because most of the time I'll drive, so he could get a little bit of rest.
yeah.
And then I'll let him drive on the way back. So I kind of, I kind of try to
Yeah.
meet in the middle of it.
That's the idea. That's the idea, right? So like let's just kind of play it out,
Sometimes.
right? So on the one hand, let's kind of play it this way. There's that. Let's say you're like, no, I'm gonna be more forceful. I don't care about your fatigue. I don't care about your emotion. I'm not gonna validate that you're tired. What I want is what I want, and you will come to dinner. He'll come and he'll just stink up the table, right? He'll just be in a bad mood. He'll just like stink it up, and he'll be upset and irritated with you, even worse because you didn't validate at all that he was just too tired.
Mm-hmm.
On the other night, you might kind of know like he needs to get out. Like
Yeah.
put your shoes on. Let's go. We're gonna have some fun.
And
And then he gets there and
Yeah.
and then he says something like, you know what? Thanks for getting me out of the house.
well,
You were
he
right.
doesn't say
You were
that,
right.
but
But
But-
it's like it's a
it's a tug and war. But I do say, hey, when you're ready to go, you let me know. We'll go. When you're ready to go, we're gone. And then when he says, I'm ready to go, I'm like, okay, bye. I got to go. Because, he did come along, right?
He ended up going?
Yes.
Oh, well, what's the problem?
I wasn't validating his feelings of being
Hey, you know what?
tired.
I'm getting tired
Yeah.
just talking about relationships.
So we're gonna end this one right. We're gonna wind up validation. We get the idea, folks, right? Like
Yes.
you gotta give your partner a little something. You gotta try to understand them.
And I know it's
Or
hard.
not, or face the penalty. There's a fee for deliberately not trying to understand, and there's a fee for deliberately trying to manipulate the outcome that you want. That's not a freebie. You're gonna get an invoice for that.
You're going to get it in. What is going to be the cost?
Well, usually it's
Right.
resentment and stonewalling and distancing.
Yep.
Either that, or you get like a nice righteous fight in your face.
Ooh, those are always good.
So,
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed our episode. Thank you very much for watching. And please do not forget to
comment,
And subscribe
and like.
and like.
Thank
See
you
you next
guys.
time.
Bye.